What's up, traders, and welcome back for another market structure tutorial video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to properly draw supports in an uptrend. So stay tuned. Definitely want to watch this video. It will help you guys understand how we get our levels. Now, before we get into what this actually looks like on the chart and how to apply it, let's go over what exactly is an uptrend. Let's help you guys define that. So an uptrend is characterized by price making higher highs and higher lows. As you guys can see to the right of this screen here, we have an image for you guys that actually defines that for you guys. So you can see this low and a push higher, obviously a higher low, and then another push higher, higher low, higher high, and that's basically what an uptrend is characterized or defined as: higher highs and higher lows. Now, every trader that's been doing this for a long period of time knows that trading does not look this simple, and identifying trends is not always this simple as well. If it were, a lot of people would make a lot more money, but today we're going to show you guys exactly what that looks like on the chart and how to properly draw out your levels so you can help define the trend and understand if it's going to continue in the trend or if it's going to change in direction. So let's go ahead and pull up a chart here so you guys can see an actual image of what it looks like. So here we have a 16 tick chart here on S&P 500 showing you guys without anything on the chart what it looks like, just pure price action, right? This is where you can see obviously the market seems like it's moving up, but how do we as traders properly draw out our levels so we can understand when the market is just pulling back and continuing in trend or when it's changing its direction? These levels are going to be very helpful and important. These tips hugely helpful for trading. Okay, so let's get into it. So you can see an empty chart here for you guys. Now we're going to show you guys exactly what we look for when we're looking at an uptrend moving market, right? So we can see obviously this is going up, but we look for the market to try to pull back. Now again, you want to keep in mind we're going to start with this 16 tick. You guys can use whatever charts you guys decide to use: range bar charts, tick charts, Renko charts, whatever works best for you. Higher time frames would obviously be the better one to use supports and resistances on, especially in the beginning when you guys are doing your market analysis. Make sure you guys use the higher time frames before you guys decide to go down into lower time frames. Lower time frames, in my opinion, should only be used as entry point charts. You should always be putting your supports and resistances on higher time frames and then zooming in. If you guys don't do that, you will end up being on the wrong end of the trade a lot of times. So just keep that in mind. But for this one, simple tips on how to draw out supports. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to look to see. You can see obviously if we come down here, if we move this over, you come down here, you can see a little bit of peaks here on the left hand side. We're just going to highlight this for you guys. A little bit of peaks. What we want to see is the market actually break up through that peak and then come back and use it as support, right? So if we take a line and we just draw it across into this peak over here, you can see that the market came right back after it broke it, then used it as support and pushed up, right? Market pushed up, creating a new high right here, and then pulling back all the way back down into this area, came back and used it as support. Nice double bottom, pushed right back up against it, found the resistance again, and continued to make this sidewards movement. But you can see as it's making the sidewards movement, the price is actually continuing to make higher lows in all this movement, right? So these levels, what you want to do is you want to define the peaks, prior peaks of resistance, see if price will come back to these prior peaks as resistance and use them as support. This will help you define the actual uptrend, right? So every single time the market continues to make a new push higher, you take that prior peak of resistance and you draw a line right across that to see if the price will come back and use this prior peak of resistance as support. As it continues to use this prior peak of resistance as support, okay, this is going to be used as support and continue in this bullish trend to the upside. Now, this is continuing to do this will help you define the actual price action movement in the trend and help you see when price is starting to break down. As you can see here, this is a prior peak of resistance 46.8375. The price then moves up higher, creating this new push higher right here, right at 46.9750 and then fails to get through and make a new push higher. Now, if it wants to continue in trend, it needs to push higher, reuse that prior resistance as support, and continue that trend movement. If not, what will happen is it will come back here and try, and then once it fails to do this, it will start to collapse even lower. So you just want to pay attention to all of this, because when price does not do that, then the trend can easily be looked at as transitioning back to the downside, right? So simple tips on how to draw out your supports in an uptrend. Again, make sure you guys use prior peaks of resistance as your support. That's how market structure goes. This will help you guys define whether the trend is continuing up or it's going to transition to a deeper pullback. Hopefully that helped you guys. Make sure you guys stay tuned, because the next video is going to be one that really helps you guys out. In our next video, what we're going to be touching on is how the market actually creates its price action against your supports that are on prior resistances, looking something similar to this. As in, we defined an uptrend as characterized by price action moving and making higher highs and higher lows. But when the price action comes back down and breaks prior resistance that you wanted to see as support, but then all of a sudden shoots right back up, right? Figure number one shows you price action movement that would do this, where it breaks below and then all of a sudden continues in that uptrend. Or price action figure number two will show you where price breaks up higher and then price never comes back to the prior peak of resistance, that prior high, and then continues that trend. How do you as a trader trade that? Or when price action comes back down, doesn't make it all the way back down or barely gets there, double bottoms, and then continues higher. So stay tuned for that video. Definitely going to be a good one for you guys. We're going to post that up. And other than that, I hope this helped you guys out. Make sure you guys apply these simple principles of how to draw out your supports in an uptrend when it's either up, sideways, or down. Those are the only three ways that markets move. If you don't understand how to do a proper market analysis, make sure you guys check out our tutorial video on how to properly do a market analysis like a pro every single time you step into the market. If you guys are struggling with how to get simple strategies or apply yourself to simple patterns, make sure you guys check out our double bottom tutorial video. Definitely recommend you guys look into that. We'll be putting out double tops, head and shoulders, but you want to make sure that you stay disciplined and you only focus on one pattern and strategy at a time. Make sure you guys get good and confident in that before you guys approach anything else or use any other types of strategies. But other than that, if you guys do trade, make sure you guys check out our London session analysis and also our morning market analysis live that we do right before the US session. We do it an hour before, so you get some of our levels that we're looking at, and we apply the same principles that we show you here in the tutorial videos. We create our supports and resistances, and how we get our levels where we see buyers and sellers that would likely step into the market at those times and at those price levels. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Make sure you guys trade well and with discipline. You guys take care.